right. Hello and welcome to the Wednesday, September 23rd edition of the Cluster API office hours. Cluster API is a subproject of both SIG Cluster Lifecycle and Cluster API itself. This isn't the AWS one. So if you are attending, please remember to use the raise hand feature. If you are not, if you have a question or any comments, that way we don't have to worry about anybody speaking over each other. And if you have any items you would like to address, please go ahead and add them to the agenda. I'll drop that link in the chat now. And also please add yourself to the attending list. To start with, for the PSAs, looks like they are all for you, Vince.
Thanks, Jason. Yeah, the first one is just the RC040 tweak 10, not 030. That's has been released. And yeah, if you have time to test that out, like there's a lot of bug fixes, especially for the memory leak that we discovered I think like it was a week and a half ago. So yeah, it's there's no release notes in the release, but there is definitely the artifacts, and the images have also been published into our production bucket. Feel free to test it out and open and file any bugs if there are any. We're targeting to potentially cut the final release on October 1st. Any questions on that? All right, I'll keep going. For Alpha 4, I wanted to propose to do a planning session during this meeting next week, so September 30th, just before we start with the month of October. One ask is to, if you have anything that you would like to work on or that you would like to propose, either open issues or like a PR to the roadmap. We, like as VMware, will work internally first to kind of like see what's top priority for us, but this should be a collaborative effort like with the whole community. So if you have anything that's top of mind, I would suggest to bring it up to the next meeting, and then we can kind of agree on high level items first, and then use the month of October to start like filing caps or RFEs and reviewing them. This process usually takes like 4 to 5 weeks, or in some case like a little bit more. But yeah, we're gonna use the month of October. Starting October 1st, we'll also start doing kind of like the chores to allow for Alpha 4 to happen. For example, like adding the new types, revving the API version, converting the conversion webhooks, and removing the Alpha 2 types. So we officially drop support for Alpha 2. The tentative date, like I actually didn't have a good idea, but I want to say like start of March 2021 for 040. But that's just like kind of like a ballpark. Like, so it's somewhere in Q1 2021 next year we're kind of aiming to release. That's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Vince. Did anybody have any other questions on either of the items Vince raised? No. All right, then let's go ahead and move on to our discussion. Oh, wait, I see Mike. You have your hand raised.
Thanks. I just had to find the button there. Yeah, Vince, I'm just curious if maybe about the time frame for V1 Alpha 4, because I'm trying to think about planning for some of the scale from zero work we want to do. And we'd like to make a proposal to change the CRD and V1 Alpha 4. So I'm just kind of curious, what are we looking at as kind of the bounding box for when that work should be completed so that we can get it planned properly?
Are you talking about code work or just proposals?
Well, I mean, we have to start with the proposal and then, do the code work. So I guess like ideally, when should we have the proposal done if we want to get those changes into V1 Alpha 4?
So I would hope for the month of October, so 4 weeks to kind of like either write and review. That's really tight. Usually like it takes much more than that. But if we give like us like maybe a couple of weeks more, so like going into November, we can start working on some parts of the proposals that like will potentially merge first, and keep reviewing other ones like along the way. So that's a good point. Like I also have thought like maybe we can just say like by November 15th, like if the proposal have not merged, like we gonna like wait for those like into the next version, or like potentially make them in a patch version for 04. But that's something we'll have to decide together. In terms of code, like, I mean, usually it's probably like if we're doing the end of Q1, like I want to say 2 weeks or 3 weeks before March 1st, I think, or March 1st. I don't know. Yeah, something like that.
That's perfect. Thank you.
All right. Going back to the discussion topics, it looks like the first one is you, Mike, for the autoscaler scale from 0.
Yeah, this should be a really quick update. I wanted to thank Andy and Mike Gugino for putting a lot of comments into that PR. I'm still trying to catch up technically with where some of those things need to be. And I'd like to update that proposal. That's probably what I'm going to be working on. I just wanted to let everybody know that, I haven't stopped looking at it. I'm just trying to catch up technically with the conversation that Andy and Mike were having. So that's about it.
All right. Any questions for Mike on the autoscaler proposal? All right, then moving along, Fabrizio, KCP remediation
Hi
proposal.
everyone. So I want just to highlight that I sent a PR with the KCP remediation proposal, which amend the KCP original proposal. I should give kudos and all the credits to Ben, which basically started this work, and I just keep resume the work and put in shape for the amending the proposal, and also to SEDEF that are helping. And the main TLDR is that we define the process for remediation. The remediation will follow a path, delete a failing node and replace with a new healthy one, because deleting a node is the suggested approach in order to make to preserve the TCD quorum, or not to create more risk for the TCD quorum. Everything is documented in the proposal. The change is not, the change set is not so big, so please take a look, and looking forward for feedback.
Thank you. Any questions for Fabrizio? If not, then we can move to the next item, which is James for Windows and Image Builder.
Hi, thanks to everybody that reviewed the Windows proposal. There was a flurry of updates yesterday. I'll be addressing them all today. I also opened up a PR for the VHD and Image Builder. I'm not sure if that's actually should be brought up at this meeting, but just wanted to, it's kind of as part of the Windows proposal, started some of that work. So please take a look if you're interested in that side of things. And thanks to the people who gave some reviews yesterday. So.
All right. Does anybody have any questions for James on the Windows work? All right. That actually brings us to the end of our current agenda. Does anybody else have any questions, comments, or concerns? All right. If not, it looks like it's going to be a quick meeting today. So thank you all very much, and we will see you next week.
Thanks, Jason.